All right, let's build the Lego Buggy. Set 42124. This is it's out of print, but it's not too expensive. It's been sitting on my shelf for quite a while, and I thought, do I build it? Do I sell it? I'm gonna go ahead and build it. That's why I bought it in the first place. And then when I'm done, they want you to use the Lego Control app, which is one of my pet peeves, but it's not that good, especially for an RC car. To get the left-right steering to be more precise, you want an actual physical controller. Swiping on the phone or the tablet, it just doesn't. It's not accurate, and it doesn't feel that great to me. I mean, I'd much rather have something in my hands to drive with. Also, if you're gonna give this to kids, you may not want to have your kids using your smartphone. So that being said, I'm going to program the Xbox controller to control the car using Pybricks. And Pybricks is a Python programming language interface for making these controllers link up to the Lego motors. Don't worry, it's not hard to do. You can get Pybricks free or very cheaply if you want to buy the license for it. It takes very minimal skills. If you never have programmed before, that's not a problem. There's actually a visual interface to it. If you want to use that, you can kind of drag and drop your pieces into order, and it kind of creates the code behind the scenes for you. So anyways, in part 2 of the video, or the next video, I will show how to use the Xbox controller to control a Lego car. All right, so let's go ahead then and go down to the table, and I will start the build. Okay, let's see what's in the box. First of all, again, you can use the control app on your smartphone if you want to. I'm not going to do that. It just is, I don't like it. Okay, so forward and reverse, left and right. So basically RC functions for a car. And 374 pieces. So you got your instruction booklet, you have your stickers, and I also won't be using these either. I'm not a big fan of stickers, so I probably won't be using those. You get your hub, battery hub, your 4 tires. They're somewhat spongy. And we get, let's see, is that a large motor or medium motor? I want to say it's a medium motor. And then 1, 2, 3 bags. It took me a while to get around to building this because we have a baby and she got sick at daycare. Ended up going to the hospital because we went to urgent care, and urgent care wouldn't take us. They wouldn't see us. So we went to the hospital after like a 3-hour wait. We saw a doctor who basically said, yeah, she's got a fever, has a cold. You know, keep an eye on her. Oh, she had a slight ear infection too. But the next day, miraculously, she was fine. So she was fine the next day. We could have saved a lot of time. You just never know. Hindsight's 20/20. Let's get one motor out here. Get the motor out. These guys out. Actually, I want to get my tray first. Hang on a second here. Okay, I'm back. So didn't finish it previous day. Having a baby is a lot of work. Okay, enough. I'll say that much. All right, so where were we? I'm on step 29. Do we have this piece? Do we do that one? No, I didn't do that one yet, I don't think. Let's look for those. And they are... Got it. That's pretty cool, but I'm not sure. It'd be difficult for a kid to do that, I would think. All right, 2 of these. Those are going in here. It's a pretty elaborate suspension system. For some reason, last Christmas season, I started getting into technique more. Getting more interested in it. I saw the John Deere tractors, the larger one, the combine, which I have, and then the 2 smaller ones. I've always liked John Deere stuff, even though I'm not a farmer. I think it's cool. So I bought the 3 John Deere sets, and maybe that kind of got me into thinking more about technique. Also, I have the tracked vehicle, so that's the one thing I have built or have worked with is the vehicle that flips over and it's like a different color. By the way, that's if you want a cheap Lego set, I think I might have mentioned it in a previous video. If you want to get into technique cheaply, buy a used one of those. You can often get them like brand new, even less than $100. They're kind of silly. Maybe that's why. I mean, just my opinion, but I bought it for the parts. And so if you buy that vehicle, you get it cheaply. You can get the hub plus 2 large motors. I mean, just those alone are over $100 if you bought them separately. And plus, you get tons of technique pieces. You get about, I want to say, 8 different gears, and you get the track pieces, and you get the just tons and tons of pins and these guys. What you don't get is you don't get a differential, and you don't get this kind of a box to kind of make a frame. So you need to kind of rig up your own frame for something, and there's no differential. So it is hard to build a wheeled vehicle with that set. But it really gives you lots of technique pieces, so it could get you going rather inexpensively with Lego motors and technique pieces. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Step 33, we've got 2 of these small black pieces, small pins, and we got 2 shock absorbers. Cool. All right, and those are going to go in here, and then this is really neat. Just right now you can even see like it, this is kind of held always, I love it, it's kind of like held always parallel to the ground. So I'm guessing that's a very specialized purpose of some of those pieces. But yeah, that's pretty fun. All right, this will go in here. And now you have it with a shock. Okay, we got 2 of these. Let's see these cream coloring. Got 2 of these. I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's hard to talk and build at the same time. So we got 2 of those. I'm going to get this bracket here. All right, that's for the next step. You go back now. I got ahead of myself talking. I wasn't paying attention. Didn't finish these. So these go on here. And they're facing this way, I guess. Kind of up. All right, now we can go over to this 35. We have these in here. I mean, half height, what I'm saying is like this pin, small pin, but this one right here is small, but it has this half height pin right here to fit this half height bar. So we do this onto here. Kind of snaps in with a satisfying click. And then that goes across here. And one more yellow to lock it on. Okay. Get on there. And then I'm going for these long ones. 1, 2. 2 of these pins. So, get the picture here. It's going to go on top. So it's making the car longer now. Okay. He's locked in. Kind of gives it a little bit of angle there. Lots of cool angles they figured out here. And like this thing right here is now parallel to this. The way they angled it here and the way they angled it down here, it matches. That's pretty cool. This angle right here matches this angle down here. Not a lot of pieces in this set, but it's pretty neat to see how they built this machine. Oh, now we're getting on the hub here. Oh, interesting. There's no screws. The one the other one I have used has screws. Could be wrong. Let me pause this. I'm gonna go get batteries. So we need the six AA batteries. Okay, back with the batteries. I think the baby's waking up right now, so I might have to just end this here for tonight. Monitoring to see if she goes back to sleep or not. Okay, I'm back. Got the batteries. Went inside the house and I heard the baby, so I think she might be waking up. I'm monitoring on the cell phone to see if she does wake up. She's kind of tossing and turning right now. She had like 18 ounces of formula. So I fed her this morning 4 ounces, and then went to daycare. And during the day, she got 14 more ounces there, which is a lot for her. I mean, she's not even 4 months old yet, almost 4 months. And then this evening, I gave her 2 to 3 ounces of breast milk. And that kind of, actually I gave her the rest of the formula from daycare, so it's been 3 more ounces. So actually she might have had, let's see, 14, well, I forget, either 18 or 21 ounces of formula, and then 2 ounces of breast milk. So suffice it to say, she had a lot to eat today. And she's zonked out. That was about 7:30 p.m. And then I came out here, and she's been sleeping okay, but now she's tossing and turning. So I might have to call the video quits again tonight. I'll just get the batteries put in now, and then I'll continue tomorrow, hopefully. So yeah, these hubs take 6 AA batteries. I'm using rechargeables. You don't get quite the same voltage output on these, but I think it's good enough. 1.5 is, like a non-rechargeable. These I think are 1.2 maybe. Yeah, 1.2. You can't. It's probably too small for the video to show up here, but it says 1.2 volts. So 1.2 versus 1.5. It's still going to run. I mean, I did the same thing with when I motorized the train in my other video, the holiday train. It still runs. You don't get the exact same amount of power, but it's close enough, and they're rechargeable. So I like that, the rechargeable. All right, so get the batteries in. Well, as I gaze over to my monitor, she's not tossing and turning right now, so let's keep going a little bit if we can. So go ahead and put this in. Snap this back down. I was saying earlier that I think that there's no screws in this one. I think that the one from the tracked vehicle has screws in the hub. But I don't know, it's neither here nor there, but yeah, I think there's a screw, maybe in the newer ones. All right, so that's in. There's the batteries. Press it and it turns on there. And this goes with 4 of the blue pins. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are going to lock. So I see now how they use these things. Oops. I dropped a pin on the floor. Remember to get that later. So I'm just gonna grab another one over here. So there's a stepped click on these. So you can press once to get the click in one time. You can press again and you'll go into for the too deep. So it's gonna lock in somewhere. Oops, see, that one just pushed in too deep. Okay, there, and then yeah, so that's gonna go on right here. Locked in. Cool. She's still tossing and turning, poor thing. And she's not, I'm not sure if she's awake or not. I made the mistake so this is my first child, and babies are noisy when they sleep. And the first few times that she was noisy, I mistakenly, I always get up or like turn the light on softly to see what was going on. But the first few times that she would stir and even sometimes even like cry out, I would pick her up and take her into the changing room to check her out. Well, that really upset her, and what I realized after a while was that she actually wasn't awake. She was still sleeping. So even though she appeared to be awake, she wasn't awake. And if I just kind of let her do whatever it was that she was doing, kind of tossing and turning, she would eventually settle back down. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now as I build this. I'm watching the baby monitor. Sorry, watching the baby monitor to see if she settles back down again. I don't know if it'll show up on the screen here. You can kind of see her. So she seems to be pretty chill right now, like she's sleeping again, I think. I'm looking for, there they are. So these are just like the tan pieces, but they're gray. And then what I guess might be like a clear headlight. Can't really see those on the video very well, but there's 2 clear dot pieces. So these go down on there. This must be a headlight. No, I'm thinking I can light this up someday. It's funny, sometimes I feel like talking when I build, and sometimes I don't feel like talking. So right now I feel like talking. Hopefully y'all don't mind. And these just get popped on here. Right. I'm skipping the stickers, as I mentioned before. Not a big fan of stickers. These are, this kind of stuff is kind of cool, the sponsors, but I'm just not a fan of this. And I mean, I grew up in the 80s, so I know this kind of stuff from the 80s. I had the Quicksilver shorts and all that good stuff. I just, I don't know, not a big fan of this color right here. I'm not anti-pink, don't get me wrong, I love pink. Got tons of pink for my baby girl, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of the color scheme. Anyways, I digress. So that's the sticker step. We skip 48. We get one of these. We get a red. This is an interesting piece. It's like totally random. How's this gonna work? All right. So that's kind of funny. That's the piece you're building for 48. Kind of a random piece. Like how will it go in there? And then you're like, oh yeah, here it is. It goes on like this. We do it again. We do the mirror image, just like in organic chemistry. There's a name for that. Mirror image. I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank now. I studied so hard, and I got an A+ in the first semester of organic chemistry. Second semester, I think I just got when I get a B. I forget. Anyways, I did really well the first semester, and I've forgotten it all now. It was kind of fun. It was a lot of work, and I was pre-med at the time, so being pre-med, I was very competitive, and I had to get all A's, and I did, but then all that work, and then just to forget it all. But it was like doing Sudoku. When you're in OChem, it's kind of, especially the second semester, you're having to write chemical reactions and reverse engineer them. And it's just all a big giant puzzle. There's like almost like no math. So it's chemistry, but there's almost no math in OChem. And it was pretty fun. And then we got this piece here, 2 grays. They're gonna go here. So let's I'm just asking for 1 of these, 2 of these, 1 gray, and 1 shock absorber, which is, where are you, shock absorber? Right there. And then it's gonna go, these are the 2 position pins right here. So first position in the gray. Shock absorber goes there. And then that is gonna go onto, I guess he goes on here. And these guys lock in here. I mean, who designed that? That's really neat. How do they think that stuff up? And then we're going to do the reverse. I want to say chiral. Is it chiral? Was an opposite image. There's different kinds of opposite images too. There's the kind where it's a mirror image, opposite image, or the kind like where you do this and it's opposite. Anyways, I think chiral is one of them, but I forget for sure. So that's 51. So this one is going to be, I guess we're not doing this other shock yet. 1 blue, 2 of the 2 position pins, and 2 of the small black pins. All right, we're going to load this guy up. Oh, so then this is over here. So I'm surprised that there's no connection on this black. It doesn't go through both. This black only goes through the blue. It doesn't go through. It doesn't go all the way through to this here. I'm surprised they didn't put it all the way through like that. That seemed to make more sense to put that through. This one, we've got 1 gray. It's the same build as before. Yep, 2 of the 2 position pins. And the other shock absorber. Did I unpack that yet? Where is it? There it is. 2, okay. So these guys are going to go in here. That's pretty elaborate setup there. Wow. I know I keep saying that. Okay. Same thing with this guy. That was 1 of these. It was 2 of these. Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have it zoomed in. Let's see. Where was I? 2 blacks. Yeah, I had to take the camera down to replace the battery. Actually, even when I came out here before the battery was, I guess I hadn't zoomed in on either. But because this is just a smaller camera, that it's a zoom, so the position's not saved. It's electronic. I gotta rezoom it each time I turn it back on. So I apologize for that. All right. They turn their car alarm on or off. My dog barks. So this locks into a lot of pins. I just don't like the way I feel like, oh, he's on the wrong side there. Is that what I did? Did I do that wrong? Maybe that's my bad. Let me back up 1 page. I think I'm going to end here on step 58 for now. Go check on the kid, go get some sleep. But yeah, we did a lot. in this little building session tonight. Got the shocks in here, and we have these guys ready to get wired up next time. I have this on backwards. I just noticed that. It's pointing the wrong way. So I'll have to fix that. Get the whole thing on backwards. Sheesh. So I have to fix that. Can I fix it real quickly? You guys probably watching the video thinking, hey, dummy. Alright. Luckily, it was an easy fix. Okay. I think it'd be cool to light these up, these lights at some point. Okay, now we're done for tonight. All right, thanks for watching this. I will return. All right, it's Cameron. I'm back. So, let's see. I'm doing a single dad thing again tonight. My wife is with friends, so I've also got the handy dandy baby monitor going, and just put her down. So she's a little bit fussy. Just not sure how long it's gonna last. Might need to go back inside, but we'll keep an eye on that. Off to the side here, we were on, let's see, 58. I just finished, right? So I had just done these guys right here. Should have made a note. Actually, I don't see I did these. So 58. All right, 2 blue. 2 blue. And 2 of these, where are they? This guy. Are those still in here? Oh, there's one in here still. Actually, both in here. Sorry if you hear a loud muscle car. Someone outside is, I guess, testing their engine. Ought to be young again, right? Such a thing we did when we were like 16 years old. Get your first car and just rev the heck out of it wherever you go. Too much testosterone. So yeah, they're still racing out there. Let's see. Distracted me. Okay. I had a Dodge Challenger, it was my first car, and then my friend Joey, he had a Ford Mustang. We were like, had just got to high school, so we were too young to drive, maybe 13, 14 years old. I remember going over to his house, and he had this old beat up Ford Mustang. I can't remember if it was on the side of the driveway or side of the house. It was primer gray and just, probably didn't even run at that point. And he talked about how he's going to fix it up. And sure enough, he did. I don't remember him ever having a job. His dad was a pretty successful plumber. So I'm not saying that his dad paid for the Mustang or to fix it up, but it got fixed up pretty quickly, and it was really nice. Had a nice stereo in it, had these big, fat street tires in back and the smaller tires in front, black. He was in AC/DC, so it kind of had the AC/DC kind of 1980s look, back in black. Cool car. We used to go cruising in that car, and he would do stop in the middle of the street, like in front of some girl you want to impress, stop in front of her house or just whatever, in front of high school, stop in front of the school, and then do a brake stand. And for those of you that may not know, brake stand is when you would put the brakes on the car, but then accelerate. And so you're at a dead stop, and you hold the brake on, and then you either use a parking brake or just hold the brake on, and then accelerate. So you're basically just burning rubber in the street on the asphalt. And the guys, they would do it so much that you actually wear a groove in the asphalt. It was crazy. Be smoking around the car. Looked badass. Looked amazing, but so bad on the car. And of course, the kids would have to go through, tires so fast. I bet their parents just love that. Yeah, you would just go through tires like nothing. Another cool car at high school was, and I don't see this nowadays. Nowadays, like, I know everyone, like, their parents buy them cars, but like when I was a kid, sure, some parents bought cars for their kids, but a lot of kids just like, things were more affordable. So, kids would just work a job and get a car and then fix it up. Another guy, Gordon, had a red pickup, also like beat up. His dad, I think, was into fixing up cars, and so they actually tore it down to the frame, built it back up as this really cool Ford pickup. Must have been I'm gonna say like a late '70s pickup. Might have been early '80s, like '80, '81, but really cool vintage red Ford pickup. And okay, now we're at 59. Another guy, Mark, who I'd grown up with since I was a kid. I mean, like a little kid, like probably since like kindergarten or first grade. He had a 83 Toyota pickup, 82 or 83. It was the kind that had the round wheel well. So that round wheel well was discontinued or changed in 84 for a new boxier wheel. But 80, 81, 82, 83 had this round wheel well, and there was a little bit smaller body. And he put the biggest, like 44-inch tires, 44-inch rims on there. Is it the rim or the tire that's 44 inches? Anyways, he put the big giant, balloon jumbo tires on it. That truck looked badass. It was lifted real high up. I remember one time he was going down the freeway, and someone stopped in front of him. He had to like swerve, and the car just like, so he's in this pickup, and when he slammed the brakes on, it's just like kind of like just like bounced sideways. I mean, luckily it didn't roll or tip over, because those trucks are they're top heavy. They're a tipping hazard. But that was another cool car. So that car was a standout. Joey's Mustang, the red Ford, and there's probably others that I'm forgetting. There were Chevelles and Camaros. Oh yeah, there's a really cool Camaro. This guy Paul had a really cool Camaro. That's my favorite car, a '68 Camaro. If I had like my dream muscle car. I remember Paul. One time we were going through the Wendy's. I was at Wendy's and leaving. I'm not sure if you're not in America. Wendy's is it's like a McDonald's. It's a hamburger place. So we're leaving Wendy's, and Wendy's had like this hill to get out of the parking lot. So the parking lot, you have to like go over like this kind of hill to get over the sidewalk into the street. And so he's kind of like on the hill like this to get over and go, but he's like waiting for a car to go by in traffic. And I come up behind him, and he didn't know I was there, I don't think. I was just goofing around. I don't think he even knew I was at Wendy's. It was just a coincidence that we were there at the same time. And so he's in his Camaro, my Challenger, and just me being young and stupid, I got up right behind him. And most of the cars, not most, but a lot of the cars back then were manual. They were clutch. Like my car was a manual, clutch transmission. His was a manual. So when you take it out of neutral, put it into gear, or take it out of gear to switch gears, sometimes you'll roll back just a little bit in that moment, or so that you take it out of gear. And so he must have done that because his car rolled back just a few inches, but it slammed in the front of my car. And luckily, since they were kind of at the same height down there at the curb, there wasn't really any damage. But I kind of learned my lesson: don't get up behind people, especially when they don't know you or don't know you're not there. And then on his part, he obviously should have looked in the mirror and known someone was behind him. But just you're young and you do stupid stuff. All right, got one of each of these guys. I just need one right now. And let's see, this is going to go on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that's the wrong one then. That's the wrong one. This one right here. 7 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. He's going right. I don't know why I say he. It's going here. That's a cable tie right there. So maybe the next engine's coming up pretty soon. Yep, here comes the next engine. So now we go for our block, our engine block. We got a gray piece that can go in here. She is still a bit restless, but she's sleeping. Cute. Let's see. What else am I missing here? My wife just texted me. I'm gonna look at it in a second here. Let me finish this. So, there. And don't worry, I'll edit that out so you don't have to like sit through a bunch of dead space. But I just want to see what she's up to. All right. That's gonna go in here in the corner. Must have been fun to design this by scratch. I want to design a car, not a real car, Lego car someday. Kind of into trains, or was into trains recently, but I want to get into cars. Well, I was going to mention though, so that friend of mine, Mark, had that Toyota. Toyota was my dream truck when I was in high school, and I wanted that more than anything. I mean, I really, really, really wanted a Toyota pickup, and man, I just lived it, I breathed it. I had a job at a grocery store, pushing carts and bringing, bagging groceries, and then as a cashier there. And I saved up, and I actually got enough money to buy a truck. My parents were totally against it. They're like, it was like that movie Christmas Story where he wants a BB gun. And they're like, no, you'll shoot your eye out. I wanted this Toyota truck, and my parents were like, no, you'll roll it. They're dangerous. And for quite a while, probably a year or two, when I was in high school, they were totally against it. And then when I turned 18, they kind of softened up a little bit, and then my dad helped me pick one out and buy one. I paid for it in cash with my own money, and I sold my Challenger. So that combined with my money, I think my parents might have kicked in a little bit, not much, a little bit. Maybe to help pay for the tax and stuff. Bought a Toyota pickup and had it for many, many, many years. Actually, I still have it. It's a 1985 Toyota pickup. So it's very sought after because the year 1985 had a solid front axle. So it's a solid axle front and back. So very sturdy. I remember going down the freeway one time. I was on the freeway, going full speed, whatever that is, 65, 5 miles an hour, whatever, and I hit an alternator. Someone had this alternator just dropped out in the freeway, and I hit it, and bam, just rocked my truck, and I was so scared. I went, it seemed to run okay, so I continued on my way home, and the very next day I took it in the shop. They put it up on whatever they do to test it out, and there was nothing wrong with the alignment. The alignment was fine. And sorry, that's my dog barking now. And that's because it just had this, it's a solid front axle. It's not an independent suspension. It's just literally an axle across the front. So it's also popular with people who like to off-road because they want to take these kinds of trucks off-road, trick them out. So what was I going to say? So my long story short, my long story long, I'm just now getting. I have it on the market to sell it, so I've listed it on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm looking to sell it. It's sad. I mean, it's been in the family a long time, but it doesn't make any sense anymore with my daughter. She can't ride in it. There's no car seat for it. I mean, I guess I could get one, but it's not the kind of truck you want to take a little kid in. It's high up off the ground. It's cramped inside. So yeah, it's time. Unfortunately, it's time to let it go. We've got 3 cars, so one's always out in the baking in the weather. It's always outside, kind of in the sun or whatever the elements are. So it's just time to let it go. So that's on Facebook Marketplace right now. And hopefully, where does this one go? It shows it goes here, but what's holding it? Oh, one black one. No, what's holding? They show two of these. This one goes under here. This one, I'm not sure. Is it just sitting there? All right, so this piece, then let's just go forward a bit and see what happens with that. I'm a little confused. Maybe I was talking too much and I missed something. Did I finish all my stories? So, selling the truck. My friend had a truck. That truck has been amazing, though. I mean, when I moved to Oregon, it pulled a 5x7 dual axle trailer. And it's only a 4-cylinder engine, but it pulled the trailer like a champ. It's been all over the West Coast. Yeah, I live on the West Coast. It's helped me move multiple times. I've helped friends move multiple times. Helped many friends move over the years. It's been stolen once. It was funny. It got stolen, and I'm not sure. I can't remember if I knew it was stolen or not. I think I did know it was stolen, and that's when I lived in an apartment complex that it just wasn't safe there. It got stolen there. It had the catalytic converter stolen from it. It got broken into multiple times. It was a thief magnet. It got broken into so many times at my apartment complex, at my parents' house. It's just so easy to pop that thing open with a screwdriver. So anyway, it got stolen, and one day I'm like, hear the knock on the door, and like this couple at the front door, and they're like, "Are you Cameron?" And I said, "Yeah." And they're like, "We have your truck, or it's at our condo." And I said, "Really?" And their condo was like literally like just like walking distance, like right around the corner. I mean, it was that close to me. I didn't even know it. So whoever stole it had basically just taken it a couple blocks down and parked it. Unfortunately, when they stole it, they totally ruined the center console. So I had to get a new steering wheel and a new center console for it. That was kind of a bummer because the one that I got from the junkyard didn't quite match what I have. I mean, you probably wouldn't know, but I know it's not the original steering wheel. It just doesn't feel like my steering wheel. After you use a steering wheel for that many years, it just has a feel to it, and so the new one just didn't feel as nice. So yeah, it's been stolen. It's been broken into so many times. One time, actually, I worked at the dog track when I was in college the first time after high school, and the dog track was in downtown Phoenix, so not the safest place at that time. And I was moving stuff from my parents' house to my college apartment, and that trip, I basically after I leave their house, I'd go to work and then go back to my place. So I took some stuff. It was stupid. I should have known better. I took some stuff. It's in the front of the truck in boxes to work at the dog track, and then from there I'd go home to the apartment. Well, during work at the dog track, it was broken into, and they stole. Guess what I had in that night? I had all of my childhood Lego in the front of my truck. So all that Lego was stolen. That just killed me. All that Lego was gone. Yeah, I don't have any. I had. Remember I'm not sure if you guys know, but the minifigs, the really old ones, and this kind of shows how old I am. But the minifigs from back in the day had joints in the arms, so like at the elbows and I think even the hands, right? They had joints. So all those minifigs were stolen. I had like the old kind of old school, big bulby windshields. I can't remember what else I had that was kind of cool, but I remember the minifigs were neat because you don't see those anymore. There was the kind of the original style minifigs that had the joints and like the elbow, like right here. This was like a joint. It was kind of like this kind of thing. Like it fit together. So like the elbow and the arm would kind of like go in like this kind of joint. Yeah, so all that stuff was stolen. many Lego sets, I'm sure, were in that box, or in those boxes. There's 2 boxes, if I remember correctly. I felt sick. I can't remember what else they stole, or what else was in that trip, but I remember the Lego was in that trip. Yeah, I guess this one's not being held in right now. It's just kind of floating in there until I put the red piece in. All right, let's see what else, how this works out. This is an interesting structure. We've got 2 of these guys. 1, 2. Let me check on the little pup. Make sure she's okay. And then we got 2 of these. Looks like a hand crank. 1. And there's 2 in this bag here. 2. And yep, she's still okay. And then we're gonna do here. So that was one time I was broken into. Early on when I first bought the truck, I took out the seats, took the dash, opened up the dash, and I installed this custom stereo system. You know, I had an amplifier in there. I had, like, you know, the woofers, tweeters, mid-range speakers. I cut holes for custom speakers, and my dad and I built these really cool custom fabric-covered speaker boxes for 2 subwoofers that went behind the seats. And I thought we were pretty clever. Like, I designed it so that the subwoofers went behind the seats, and they perfectly fit that space there behind each, you know, driver and passenger seat. The bench seat would go forward, and like you put these boxes in, and then plug them in. They were designed so you could take them out. So you went to the lake and you're kind of, you know, barbecuing or partying at the lake. You could take the boxes out of the from behind the seats and put them outside or in the truck bed, whatever you want to do. So they weren't locked in. So I built those for them for the truck, custom fit. Had some kind of, I don't know, cool JVC. It was tape deck back then, and so all that was stolen. Like out in front of my house, because my dad had 2 cars, so I parked in the driveway. So yeah, my truck again was a prime target. One night, woke up in the morning and the truck door had been jimmied open and everything's gone. What was funny was that actually, well, they took the speaker. Actually, let me back up one night, because the stereo system actually was stolen more than once. So I forgot the first time that the stereo that was broken into for the stereo system. That's when the speaker systems was lost. So my girlfriend and I, Kimberly, we went to a friend's wedding, and we were at a hotel. So you think they have security? So I parked in the hotel parking lot, and we went into the reception. And when we came out, it had been broken into, and that's when I lost those big speaker boxes. And they also stole her purse that night. I remember I was kind of a jerk, because I remember she was crying, upset about her purse being lost, and I was crying, upset because, like, my truck had been broken into, and they took so that, you know, I had the damage of the break-in, plus they took those custom speaker cabinets that my dad and I had built. And I said something to her like, "Hey, you know, just pull yourself together." It wasn't like that was the first time. And then so then I replaced the speaker system, or the stereo system, and then sometime later, I'm not sure how much longer later, that's when in front of my house it was broken into again. So they had the stereo system was stolen for the second time. Come on. All right, I'm back. Sorry, my dog was barking too much. I had to let her inside. Yeah, so first time I was broken into for the stereo system was at the hotel. They took the custom speaker boxes. The second time in front of my house, they gutted it. They took the amplifier, they took the stereo system itself, they took the speakers. But there was some things they had missed, like maybe it was the amp they missed, and the mid-range speakers was. But I mean, it's funny now, but back then it wasn't funny. The very next night, they came back and took what they had missed the first night. Yes. At that point, I was done. I got the insurance money from that, and there was a few things left they hadn't stolen. The stereo system was crazy. The amount of money I put into that thing, the custom wiring. There might have even been more than one amplifier because I sold. Now that I think about it, so even after the second night, there still were a few things left. I ended up just selling those to my friend Rob. I was just done with it. He's like, "You're not going to replace it?" I said, "No, I'm just done." And I took the insurance money and bought my first cell phone. And since that day, back then, I never had a stereo or radio. I had nothing in the truck, and I never replaced it. I just, for years and years and years, I just went without any music in the truck. It was kind of nice actually to not have any music or anything distractive. I just would I guess it sounds kind of weird, but I just, and just enjoy the drive and concentrate on or not concentrate, but just kind of, just be in the moment for the trip. Is this right? I feel like this backwards. Need to talk less, build more. Let's see. This guy is like this. Here we go. Yeah, so my first cell phone, it was a Panasonic candy bar style phone. And actually it was pretty cool because back then no one had cell phones, so I got quite a few looks when I would take it out and use it. It still was kind of a new thing. It's been like what, early 90s, I guess, 91, 92. That one piece there, is there two of these? Yeah, there's two of them. Where's the other piece? The other. Where did I put it? I feel like I just had it a second ago. You guys see it? I had it sitting out, didn't I? Oh, there it is. Duh. All right. So he goes right here. Yeah, that was kind of fun. So candy bar phone, it's like this shape. It had the dial pad. And I remember the screen was kind of weird because it was on this side. It was unusual. So the screen was on the side opposite of the keypad. Had the kind of antenna that you would like pull it out, put it back in. I was a late adopter for smartphones. I didn't have my first smartphone until 2014, which that's pretty late when you think about it because iPhone came out in 2007. So it wasn't until 7 years later I got my first smartphone, and it wasn't because I wanted to really. It was because my employer was switching over to using the two-factor authentication, and to be able to authenticate, I was using a small little Samsung flip phone, and their IT department was having to go through all kinds of hoops just for me. Like everybody else in the company, probably talking like close to 100 people, all had either an Android or a iPhone or even like a Windows phone. But I had this like Samsung flip phone, so I had to like call in by voice to get authenticated. And they finally just said, you need to switch. You need to get a phone. So I did that. I got my smartphone because of my work. So what are your stories of having your car broken into? Leave them in the comments. Any interesting car theft, car break-in stories, or break-in stories for anything for that matter? Also, high school cars. What did you drive in high school? Did you have a car in high school? How'd you get to class? Did you walk? Did you ride a bike, skateboard, bus? I actually walked or rode my bike my entire school career up until almost pretty much the day until I got my first car. So even when I was a little kid, I'd ride my bike to school. I had a mongoose dirt bike, ride that to school. I mean, that was like a car. When you're a little kid, a bike is like freedom. It's like having a car. So I ride my mongoose to school, lock it up, come out after class and ride home. And then as I got older and bigger, I got a 10-speed. My friend Brad had a really cool 10-speed. He was like the rich kid on the block. His dad was a realtor, and I guess did really well because Brad always had the nicest toys, the nicest clothes, and the nicest skateboard, nicest bike. So he got a really cool 10-speed bike. I got a 10-speed bike, kind of a weird way. Like there was a corner in my neighborhood, a couple doors down from my house was a corner, and there was a blue Schwinn. Just someone had parked it on the corner, just like left it on the corner, and it was there for a while, like most of the day. And so I went and took it and brought it back home. And my dad's like, you can't just keep that. You gotta, whoever owns this and be looking for it. So you need to, give it back to whoever owns it. Especially, put it out in front, put a sign on it or something like that. Try and find the owner. And I tried to find the owner. I think I put out front with a sign on it for a day or two, and no one ever claimed it. And so then my dad's like, okay, you can keep it now. And so it was pretty beat up. So I wanted, but it was a Schwinn, and it was a nice bike, or it had potential. So I took it apart completely, and he helped me. Took it apart down to the frame. And I remember we had a friend of his who did automotive work, sandblast the frame, and then we repainted it. We built it up from scratch. I bought some new components. I'm not sure what I put on it. Probably Shimano parts on it, maybe like the what do you call it, the pedal arms and the gears, and anyways, got it looking pretty nice. Not too nice, but nice. And I rode that for most of my high school career. I'd lock it up along the fence by the parking lot, and I want to say, like, I had my eye on. I had my learner's permit for driving. I got that when I was 15 and a half years old, and I had gone through driver's ed in high school and got my driver's license, and then looking for a car to drive, and I found one in Auto Trader, and we went to four of these guys. we went to go look at it, but what was funny is like I think it was the day before that I was going to get that car, maybe even the day of. It was super close. I came out from school, and my bike had been stolen. So that cool bike that I worked so hard to kind of make my own from scratch had been stolen. But it was like right as I was buying my first car. So kind of bittersweet moment there. Graduating to be a driver, but losing my dear 10-speed bike. Hopefully I had a good life with whoever stole it. maybe the original owner found it and stole it. I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of funny that it happened so close to when I got my car. All right, this thing, I guess, is going on here. Because Lego can't draw stuff very well, so. Do y'all have bikes or have bikes? I want to get one again. I mean, now that I have a baby, it'll be kind of fun at some point because she'll want a bike, so I get a bike too. My friend at work got a Specialized kind of what do you call that? It's kind of the road tire, but it's more of a knobby tire. I think is it hybrid, so it's kind of made for some gravel. That to me is a kind of a cool bike. It's not too fragile because it's not just for road, but also it's not like totally mountain bike. It's not a fatter tire, so it's not gonna be hard. It's gonna go pretty fast. That's kind of why I think it would be a good fit for me because I can ride on the trails and stuff around the house here. showing. Oh, did I do it wrong? Yeah, I'm sorry, I did it wrong. Alright, the circle goes on the outside. So, slight difference. There's the open, and then there's the cross end. They're showing the open end is the one that's on the outside. I had it right the first time. Okay. Kind of weird that these axles stick